Welcome back to the Pink Popcorn Podcast. And today we're going to be recapping episodes 11, 12, and 13 of Gilmore Girls Season 1.
Yep. Very excited.
And we're excited.
Yes.
They're
By
good
the
ones.
way, we don't know what we're doing on here. Sorry, no. This has been an interesting process. So we're starting the podcast. This is what episode? Our fifth episode?
5
Wow.
mhm,
Okay.
of our podcast.
Of our
Yes.
say very serious podcast of talking about shows. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
funny because this like came about because I don't know, we talking about shows so much and we like doing it, and then we're like we should just make a podcast, and then
Yeah.
we started doing it, and then we started posting, and it's like a weirdly uncomfortable thing to do because we don't know what we're doing, like with the tech side of things and also just organizing the podcast. It's just like it's a
Yes.
weird thing. I've told a few people about it, but we haven't actually posted it on social media, so we're planning
Yeah.
to do that. I think by the time this episode is out, we will have done that. So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know.
That's the
It's just
plan.
uncomfortable because it's very out of our comfort zones. We don't post on social media much. And it's like not a, yeah, it's just putting this out there. Even just if it's for friends to see, it just feels a little bit vulnerable. But it's kind of
Yes.
cool to just like try to push past the weird, cringy discomfort and kind of get
It,
into like, yeah, learning how to do it.
yes.
And
And
I
not
don't know.
caring so much, like not caring if it's not perfect, it's not, and just like
Yes.
just doing it
Well,
because
that's it.
it's
I've been
fun and
talking to a couple coworkers and about it, and they're like, "Oh, I want to start a podcast." Honestly, I think if you are like wanting to start a podcast, even though we're not, this is very basic. I don't, yeah, just do it because for the experience of doing something that's out of your comfort zone or creative or like, yeah, I don't know. It's just kind
yes.
of, it's fun. It's different for us, and so it's been fun. But also we don't have a jingle. We don't have like
Yes,
we're
we
not
need a
super
jingle.
organized yet. So bear
Sorry,
with
just
us.
bear with us. Yeah.
If you're listening, thank you for your support.
Yes, because it's just fun
Yeah.
to talk about our shows. I mean, especially Gilmore Girls, which is why we started with this one. We would be on the phone all the time, just talking about, oh, what are you watching this week? And then
Yes.
somehow we're just talking through all the things and complaining, or not complaining, but laughing
But
about the
things that
things
bug
that we
us
would,
or
yeah,
things, yes.
that we would change, and then gushing over
Mhm.
the things we love. And so,
Yeah.
and it feels like stuff we can just talk about forever. And it's like the lighter side of life we can just laugh about. Um,
Yes.
so it's
So
fun.
that's good. So yeah, so this week we're talking, like you said, about episodes 11, 12, and 13. So we're gonna start with episode 11.
It's called Paris is Burning.
Yes. Okay, so in this episode, we see a little more of Lorelai and Max dating. We also see that we get a little more insight into Paris's life. Her parents are getting divorced. It's a really big thing in the news and everything. And then also we have Parents' Day. And it's a fun episode. This episode, so with Lorelai and Max dating, Lorelai kind of freaks out and spirals, and it's kind of chaotic for everyone around in her life. So that's pretty much what's happening in this episode. So the beginning scene, sorry if I'm talking a lot, but the beginning scene is Lorelai and Max are at Max's apartment, like eating dinner, and Lorelai's just eating the leftovers. And it's a cute
Yeah.
scene. This scene is just like, I don't know, it just makes me it's the excitement of the beginning stages of dating. I don't know
Hmm.
if that makes sense,
When,
but in his
yes, because
Mhm.
he could get annoyed at her little quirkiness of eating the food after dinner is over, but she's just cute. It's the beginning.
Yeah.
So everything they do is cute, not annoying.
Yes, it's cute. And it's just like they're getting to know each other a little more. His apartment is like very cozy and very, what's the word? It's like a professor's apartment. That's what it
Yes,
feels like.
it looks
It
like
has,
him. And I'm sure that was
yes.
on intentional. It
Yeah.
looks like a nice man's apartment. It looks like it smells nice, like a cologne smell with
Yeah, but
like
not like an old man cologne smell that's strong.
no.
It's like the young man
Hmm.
smell. But yes, yeah, and it's cute. Like he cooked her dinner and they're just cute and fun and flirty and it's just a cute night all around. I don't
Hmm.
know. It's just
It
fun.
is.
But
And
also
it's
in the,
showing that they've been kind of dating for a while. Like they've been together for what is it, 2 or 3 months at this
yes,
point.
I think a couple months at this point. So it's like it's still beginning, so it's fun, but they're more comfortable with each other. So that's nice. But also in
Hmm.
this scene, you see his books and she picks up Swan's Way, the Proust book, and he lets her borrow it.
Lorelai wanting to read Swan's Way. It's okay. Rory does read classics and she reads so much and it's part of who she is and there's people like that. I
Hmm.
kind of get in moods where I'll read classics, but mostly I like romantic fantasy books or whatever. So the point is, Lorelai is more like most normal people where she says she wants to read this classic Swan's Way, which I don't even know the book. But anyway, she
I don't know what it's about.
but it's one of those things where you're like, "Oh, but I don't really get around to it." Like no one
Yes,
really
because it's
reads
like
those.
you kind of have to be in the mood for it, but you're never in the mood
You're
for it.
never in the mood.
And this is what I was gonna say. It jumps us into the episode where Lorelai has it, like she tries to give it to Rory, and Rory's like, "Oh, you finished it?" She's like, "Yeah, the first sentence." Or whatever. And I'm like, I have started multiple classics. I have some here because so our dad had a like collection of classic books. He was a big
That
reader.
looks like yes, and he
He
was an
was,
editor and a
yeah, he was
writer.
an editor, so that's what he did. And he was an actual reader. So I think we've split them up between all of us kids. So I have some here. I have like the Scarlet Letter and The Great Gatsby, and I have Anna Karenina, random books that I have opened and read
Yeah,
about the first sentence. And then been like, I'm
I
not
know.
in the mood for this.
Never in
I
the mood.
can't
I've
actually.
only, out of all the classics, I'm only really in the mood for like maybe Jane Eyre, which I do love Jane Eyre.
You
Okay.
do love
That's
it.
my
Yeah.
favorite. And then the Jane Austen books, I love all of those. But there's romance, and a lot of classics don't have, I mean, maybe they have hints
And
of
it keeps you
romance.
interested. Maybe
Yeah.
they have it and we just haven't gotten far enough into the book to know.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, we don't read them. They just sit on the
Yes,
shelf to look like we read,
exactly. And
to
I've
make us
decided
look
that
more
that's,
literate.
yeah. And I have decided that that's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay to have books on the shelves that look pretty and like the classic collection. And they're
Hmm.
sentimental and remind us of our dad. It doesn't mean we
Yeah.
don't have to prove anything by reading them.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
back to
anyway,
Proust,
back
but
to
that's
back to
their
the
date.
date. Well, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, okay. So then we
Oh, she
see
gets home late. Sorry.
yes, but oh, we
I just feel
okay.
like it
She
wasn't.
gets home late from her date. Laura, gosh, Rory says, "You look happy," and so Rory is excited. Your face. Sorry.
I'm like, yes, she looks so happy. Well, she's just like excited. Sorry, but I didn't
She
mean
is,
to
and
be overly animated about it.
no, it's fine. Um, Rory is excited to see her mom happy, and she likes Max. Like she starts to say things
Yes.
that start freaking Lorelai out because Lorelai can tell, uh-oh, my kid's getting attached.
Yes. Which she doesn't say it right quite yet. Right, quack. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, it's more when they're going ice skating. So in this episode, Lorelai and Rory. So first off, we're all over the place right now. Sorry. So Lorelai and Max have another date. Max gets there right at 8. So Rory's
Yes,
trying to
I
leave.
love this scene. Rory's trying to leave. I love this scene. Rory is trying to leave, but I love
Okay.
this scene because, okay, one of my favorite things, sorry, in Gilmore Girls is getting ready scenes. Getting ready. That's what we call it when
Yeah,
you're like putting on
yeah,
makeup, doing your
that's what
hair.
it's
Isn't
called.
it's just what we
Gotta
say,
get
like
ready.
getting ready. So putting on makeup, doing your hair, and getting dressed for wherever you're
Mhm.
going. And the scenes of them getting ready are so fun. And it just makes you think of high school and college when you're getting ready with your friends, because Lorelai
Mhm.
and Rory, at this stage in their life, they're like best friends because Rory
Yeah.
is older now and stuff. So
Yeah, so they borrow
Lorelai,
each other's clothes. Sorry. Yeah.
yes, yes. And she's expecting Max to pick her up. Well, then one of the quotes I like, he rings the doorbell and she's like, "What was that? Why is he already here? It's 8 o'clock. Who comes like at eight
Who
o'clock
shows
during a
up at
clock
a
date?"
date at 8 o'clock? Yeah. Yeah.
At eight
And
o'clock.
it's
And
just
then the
like
quote I
8:20,
like is
8:15 at the
tops.
sorry.
Yeah. And she says, how does she say it? He's cute, but this punctuality thing, has knocked a few points off his the dream
Yeah.
guy quotient. So, and it's true
Hmm.
because you're never quite ready when it's time to go. At least I'm not. Drives
Right.
my
Yeah,
husband
you're
nut
not
like crazy.
right. Like every time I think I'm like, okay, I have to be ready by this point. And sometimes I can be pretty close, but usually it's like 5, 10 minutes after at least. And sometimes it's a
Yes.
little more. Like
And
we
the
had
same
planned to do this like an hour before we actually started today.
exactly. It just happens.
So,
And then going along with that is when you have people over for dinner or a party, like if you're hosting something, a baby shower or something,
mhm.
if people show up early, it is the worst unless they're part of the crew of setting up the decorations. And then they
Yeah.
do. And even if they're part of that, if they come and just want to sit and chit chat, no. They need to come and just quietly hang
Help
up their
out.
decorations or chop up the watermelon or whatever it
Quietly hang
is.
up their in silence, just hanging up their decoration.
Okay, they don't have to quietly.
Jeez.
You know what I mean? They need to help, not distract me from getting all the last minute details together.
Yeah.
And
I see what you're saying.
that's just what it made me think of when she's like, why is he here right at 8? It makes me so happy
Mhm.
when people show up like maybe 5 minutes after, because you always
Yes.
have a little bit more that you're doing. And then when they come and they say, oh, can I help? It's like, no, no, you cannot
That's
help
too much
because,
work for me to try to delegate here. Like
yes,
it's
like just let me focus on this and get it done. And then
yeah.
I'll be done and I can hang out and talk and all that. But anyway, it's the same for, yeah, getting ready. So I love that
Mhm.
line. Okay. Anyway,
But also in this episode, while this is happening, before we get too much into the Max Lorelai stuff, I mean, this goes into it. We have a Friday night dinner scene where Emily tells Lorelai that it's Parents' Day coming up.
mhm.
So that's leads us into the rest of the episode, which anyway.
Yes. So they have Parents' Day where the parents can go and be with the kid throughout their like schedule and talk to the teachers. Kind of like parent-teacher
Hmm.
conferences during school, I guess.
Yeah.
And so
Anyway,
Lorelai is spiraling leading up to that day, and then she doesn't want to go, and
well, this
Rory
is
gets
what
mad.
happens.
Okay.
So after Lorelai and Max's date, and Rory is like chill. Yeah, so they haven't so Lorelai and Rory are planning to go ice skating. And then Rory suggests we should invite Max. And that's when Lorelai starts to
That's
spiral.
that's the trigger
Hmm.
because she
And she's like,
sees,
"What?" Yeah.
yeah, and Rory wants Max to be there with them, which is so
Yes.
sweet.
It is sweet.
Also,
Like she's getting
leading up,
excited.
yes, she's and leading up to the ice skating, Luke just is there. He's always there to take care of things. he
Yep.
takes her ice skates and he's gonna like clean them and tighten the blades. Like
I
what?
know. And he's
He
just like,
knows how
ugh,
to do
I'll just do it, even though she doesn't even offer.
it.
He's just like, I'll just clean them for you. Because
Yeah.
obviously, I don't know. It's just very Luke.
Yes,
Just,
and I just love those little moments in the show where he's just there,
mhm. Yeah.
like this what do you call it? Just a pillar that's there. I
Yeah. Stalwart. I don't know.
stalwart. Thank you.
He's,
Yeah,
what is
stalwart.
the,
I don't
stalwart?
know, but you
What are you
can
trying to say?
rely on him. There's a better
Yes,
word for
he's
it.
reliable. He is a
Yeah, we'll say that.
reliable, yeah,
Constant. He's a
he's a
constant.
constant.
That's, I
Yes.
think, what I was looking for.
Yeah, good.
Okay. So we like that. And then after they get back from ice skating, there's a scene in the kitchen with Suki, and Suki is another
Mhm.
constant. She's such a good friend. She's just always around,
Yeah.
like helping with things. And there's a sad moment where Lorelai snaps at Suki.
Yeah. Well, it's
Right?
because Suki is calling Lorelai out on the freaking out. She's like, yeah, 2 months seems like the time for you to freak out. Like, and then
And do your
Lorelai gets
getaway
super,
dance.
yeah, cha cha cha. And that's what she says.
Lorelai
But,
gets very defensive because she knows Suki's
mm,
right.
yep. And she
And she
says to
snaps
Lukey,
at her.
Lukey, Lukey. He's like, well, how would you know? You haven't dated anybody in however long. I don't know.
Mhm.
And it's just kind of a
It's
mean thing,
hurtful.
especially because I feel like Suki, she's so sweet, but yeah, she's not out there dating like Lorelai is. I
Mm.
can't talk. I can't say
Yes.
words.
Yes, so
Anyway,
it's just kind of sad, but I will say I am impressed with Lorelai's apology. She apologizes right away.
yes.
And her line of like, I can't talk to you like that. I'm so sorry. She says something like that, right? I do not talk, I
Yeah.
can't talk to you like that. I really love that line. And I feel like we should all use that in our lives.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've snapped at people and then felt horrible. And it's like you can't really change what you did, but I think acknowledging that the way
acknowledging
you
that
talk to them
and
is not okay.
trying, yes, and then trying as you go to not talk that way to people, especially your
Yeah.
best friends and family and people who mean so much to you. Like, you don't get to just yell at them, or even if you feel justified in your anger, like, it's
Hmm.
just not right to treat them that way. And so I like the way she said that.
Yeah.
So
But
then
so then we
the
go,
parents'
so
day.
you see Parents' Day, like she's trying to get out of it. She finally just goes and she tries to bring the book back.
She's breaking up
And
with Max and he doesn't
and
realize
it's
it at
just
first.
so uncomfortable. This scene, it's just like, I don't know. It's just funny because I'm like, Max is a professional. Like I feel like he is. So it seems weird that he would kind of get into this at school. But he
Yes,
also is dramatic. He's a romantic, so he has to be dramatic.
he is. He is such a romantic. And Lorelai kind of does that to him. That's a theme later where he's like, I shouldn't. And he regrets acting that way. So it's kind of believable. Like he gets swept up by her, you
Yes.
know? And so they kiss in his classroom, in between
And
classes. And then
Paris sees, which
Paris sees.
we didn't really like, we acknowledged Paris's parents are getting divorced. So in this episode, the whole episode at school, everybody's talking about Paris and her parents because apparently her dad is like a pharmaceutical big wig. That's what Rory says. So they're printing all these details in the paper about her parents' divorce. And so
Yeah.
everybody's talking about it. So then when this scene happens, Paris sees them kissing. So this is her opportunity to take the focus off of her when she sees that. And so then she goes and tells
She
everybody.
goes and starts in the cafeteria, starts the spreading the word that Rory's
Yeah.
mom is kissing a teacher.
Yep.
And so, and then Lorelai coming out, she's just like happily going up the stairs. Rory starts yelling at her.
Okay, this episode, watching it, made me realize, so not always, like Lorelai is pretty responsible, like she's taking care of Rory, like she's a good mom, but there are times where Rory kind of has to be the adult in the relationship, which is not a healthy way to live. Like it, and it is like obviously Lorelai has issues. That's what it is.
Yes, as everyone
But
does.
yeah. And so this is one of those moments where you see Rory kind of being the adult, getting upset at her mom for being reckless.
Hmm.
And her
And
mom,
you see it.
like, oh, sorry, what?
Oh, just you see it happen again, like in the later episodes, especially as Rory gets older and she goes to college. There are times where she really does that. And she's like, Mom,
And
you
if you
messed
think
up.
about this outside of like a TV show in a real, if that was a real life situation, you're like, oh, they have a good relationship, but also the daughter is more mature because she's just had to be more mature. Like she's just had
Hmm.
to take care of her mom's emotions and like stuff like that.
Yes,
And
which
so,
is actually understandable for both. And it's like you don't really fault Lorelai for that 'cause she was a single mom the whole time.
and she
Like
had her when she was 16. She, like she didn't get the, like the young adult period where you
you're
start
figuring out
coming
who
out
you are.
of, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
And
Would
so we're so serious about this as if it's real life. But it's just sometimes
it
watching it, I'm like,
is.
if this was real life, like how would that be? It would be
It
so
feels
different.
like it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then so Lorelai meets up with Max and they talk. And this part of the episode is kind of sad because you can tell Lorelai has come around and realized like, okay, this is why I freaked out. I'm so sorry. Like I was just not wanting to get hurt. Like I'm so like into you, whatever. And Max is like, yeah, same, but like also per what's his face? Il Duce, what?
Yeah.
Headmaster Charleston.
Headmaster.
He talked to him and, like it's a serious thing because like he could have lost his job over that. And so, and Max is like, I just feel like I can't like focus. Like it's just like I am not. I can't remember exactly what he says, but
Not
he's
myself.
basically, it's just, yeah, he's just so lost in her that he can't like think straight. And so he suggests they take some time apart, and you can tell Lorelai is just kind of like taken aback because I don't think she saw that coming because I think she was just like, oh, well, this is resolved. Like, this is why I did this. We'll move forward. And then
Yes.
he's
And
like, yeah, we should take some
she
time
had
apart.
decided she wanted to stay together and then he ended it. So
Yeah.
the episode, doesn't it end with her crying on the bed and Rory comes and lays by
Yes.
her? I love
And
that
it's
scene.
sad. But it's good. It's good show writing, I think, because it doesn't sometimes like when relationships get too serious in shows, it gets a little boring.
Yes, so you have to
Frankly.
kind of break it up.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
so it's good for the show, I guess. But yeah. And so
Hmm.
that's pretty much how
Oh,
that ends.
and then because of Rory
Oh,
snapping at Suki,
Lorelai snapping at Suki.
Lorelai snapping at Suki, Suki asks Jackson out. And
Yep.
it's
And
perfect.
so that's cute. And that's how that ends. And so that's good. Like Suki is trying to put herself out there. And so it's cool.
Okay,
Okay.
what would we rate this one?
Hmm. This
Wasn't my
episode,
favorite.
I would maybe say like 7.5. I don't know.
Okay.
It was like good, but not
Yeah, I was
great.
gonna say like 6. It's just not my
Okay.
favorite. It's okay, but and
Yeah.
I know it's
I guess,
necessary.
yeah. I think I like the cuteness with Max and Lorelai, even though it's
Hmm.
kind of a hectic episode. But
Yeah,
yeah. So like
a lot
seven,
happened.
7.5. Okay. So moving on to
Yeah.
episode 12.
Okay, double
So
date.
double date. So this episode, we have two double dates. We have Suki going out with Jackson and Jackson's cousin Rune joining to go with Lorelai, which is hilarious.
Rude.
And Rune. Rune is such a funny character.
He's such a good
And
character.
so annoying.
And
But
I love
yeah.
that they bring him back in later seasons.
Yes, yes. And so we have that double date happening. And then we have um Lane wanting to go out with Dean's friend Todd. And so they have a double date. Lorelai, oh my gosh, Rory and Dean and Lane and Todd. So
Mhm.
that's pretty much what's going on in this episode. When we get into the episode, Lane and Rory are hanging out, listening to a CD. This scene is fun because it's like Lorelai is in the kitchen studying, and then Lane and Rory are talking, and Lane brings up that she is interested in Dean's friend Todd. Something that bothers me though is how
But
serious Rory takes this. Like in kind of a negative way. Like chill. It's
yes,
literally one
it's
date.
just a
You could even make
crush.
it, yeah, you could make it not even a date. You could just be like, "Oh, let's hang out and go to the movies
Yeah, like let's all go to the
together,
movies
like in
as
a
a
group."
group. I know I
Yeah.
don't like how she's kind of like discouraging Lane,
Yes.
and
And
I
I'm
don't
like,
like
be
that.
supportive of your friend. Like you don't know Todd and they don't have to get
Yeah,
married. It literally is just
no.
one date and she's just
Yeah,
into
and
him
be
and she just
excited with your
seems
friend about her crush. Like, why can't you be
yes.
excited with her? And
Exactly.
it'll fizzle out on its own. You don't have to be like
Right.
the bad news person of being like, oh,
Yeah.
you do you
This
even
is a
know
tricky
him?
thing I've found with friends though. Sometimes it's like, I mean, if it's like one day, obviously not a big deal. But if somebody starts dating somebody and you're seeing a lot of red flags, sometimes I'm like, I don't know how
Yeah,
supportive to be. Where it's just like, I want to be so supportive and I want you to be happy. But also
yeah.
sometimes it is something that it's like we all kind of look past certain things in the beginning. And
Yes.
then
And then when you're really into the person, you ignore those red flags. And
sometimes
then
we
when,
ignore our friends saying it.
oh,
Like
yes, even
pointing
if
them
your
out.
friends mention it. That is so
Yeah.
true. And then as the friend, you don't know how much to say because you don't want to push them away. You want to be there and just love them.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is a hard
but
thing.
it's hard. But
Mm.
this, like, first of all, there's no red flags to be seen because Rory doesn't even know Todd. But like he's friends with
Yes.
Dean, so you're like, it's a guy that's friends with your boyfriend. So like maybe be open to it. Don't be just like a weird cock block. I probably shouldn't say that. Sorry.
But it's true.
It's just like
There's no reason to be negative about it at this point. Like,
yeah.
just let her go on the date and be supportive, which I think she does.
Mhm.
Once she decides she's going to ask Dean, she is supportive of Lane after that. Don't you
Right.
think?
Yeah. Yeah, she is supportive. It's
Mm.
cute. Although I will say some scenes are weird. But so yeah, she does ask Dean about it. And it just bothers me how serious they're taking it. Like, it's just a
Yeah, because
date.
Dean
Like,
is the same way. He's like, well, I don't
yes,
think Todd knows. And then, but I
I don't
liked,
know.
yeah, I don't know. I liked how Rory is defensive of Lane at that point, though, when Dean is
Yes,
hesitant. She's
that
like,
is
what?
good.
Lane's not pretty enough or smart enough or something? Like,
Yes, that is a good friend move. But yeah, so it's funny though, because I think back to when I was 16, like dating, it was exciting and fun, but also I was a little too serious. Sometimes I feel like I wish I wouldn't have been so serious with dating. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I wish I would have had more fun and just been like, whatever. I don't know.
Yes. And just, I know.
But it's okay. Anyway,
Well, I think I
so
was like that. I was not as serious. I
I
just
know,
wanted
and I wish
like
I would
all
have
the
been
boys
less
to like me
serious. I know.
and to flirt
But
with all of them.
which I wish I would have been a little more serious or not a little more that way. Like
Yeah.
just let loose a little more because I was
Yes, because you're like
yeah,
that. Yeah, because you're
exactly.
young. It's like when
And I
else
still
is
as
there?
yeah. When else? Yeah, because even as an adult though, sometimes I'm like, I'll catch myself being so anxious about things or like stressed about things. And then I'm like,
Yes.
man, I'm so serious. I need to just like be silly and have fun and not care because life is just so much better that way.
Yes. Oh my gosh,
It's
it's so
not
true.
as fun when you're serious.
It's
Anyway.
true. It's so true.
Okay,
And
so
so
this is happening. Yeah.
and the scene with Rory and Dean on the bench. Okay, so she asks him to ask Todd. Is this the scene where there's a lot of these scenes with Rory and Dean and their cringeworthy PDA?
Yeah. Her weird hand on the side of his face. Like, I'm like, what is that? Like, why is it just like flat on his face?
And then it's like you're just pecking at each other on the bench in the middle of everybody, like
Yeah.
in the middle of town. You're not gonna, like, what is the point?
Yeah. I don't, yeah. It's
Of
just,
it's so
yeah, it's just
funny.
funny.
But
But yeah.
I just never liked PDA with my high school
No.
boyfriend.
Yeah. I liked a
It
little, but
felt
not
cringy.
anyway. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, it was a weird scene. So we had that happen. And then at the same time, so Suki and Jackson have awkward encounters because she asked him out and then nothing happened. And so Lorelai's like, well, I think even if it's his like move, I think if he's not doing anything, you have to do something. Like if something's gonna happen, you can't just not have anything happen. So she makes Suki call Jackson.
Hmm.
So then that happens,
So
which this is
cute.
a thing. Like if I don't know, like I think about I mean, I was a teenager. The first guy I dated, I wanted to say dated, but we didn't really even date. Like we dated for 3 weeks. We were going out. This was the term. But I asked him out, and I'm like, is that just like we were kids, and so it just felt like that's what we did. Because even as I got older, I
What do you
just feel
mean
like
you
I
were
never did that.
kids? How
We
old
were
were you?
15.
Oh, okay,
Like,
yeah.
so it was just like I asked him out over AOL Instant Messenger
Aw.
because we were both shy, and so we didn't, I don't know. But
But he really
I
liked
like,
you.
yeah, I don't know. And we were friends, and we would talk, and then I asked him out, like literally, like, will you go out with me? And now if that's something you ask, it's like on a date. Like that's what that is. But at that point in time, it was like, will you go out with me? As in like, will you be my
Will you be
boyfriend?
my boyfriend? So today you
Yeah.
can't, if you say that, it's just a date. If you
I
say,
think
will you
so.
go
I feel
out
like, will you
with
go out with me? That sounds like such a
Yeah, it's
young
like
kid.
people don't say that
Will you go
anymore.
out with me? We're going out. Like,
Yeah, no one says that. Okay, what do they say nowadays?
we're
We're
talking.
we're
They're like,
talking.
we're talking, and then I don't know what's after
Yeah,
that.
I
We're
think it's we're
exclusive?
talking
Like,
and
we're
then
dating.
maybe we're dating and then it's like we're together, boyfriend, girlfriend. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I don't
think
know.
so.
No going out,
Yeah,
but that was how it was. But even, yeah, so it was just kind of funny because I'm like, yeah, sometimes you just have to be the one. I had so much
to make the
confidence
move.
as a 15-year-old. As a
That's
14,
yeah,
15-year-old,
you
that's
did.
those were my confident years. And then it like slowly died out. But they like I lost all my confidence by the end of high school. I feel like it was all gone. But um,
And I was the opposite. I was so shy and then
and
like by
then
the
you
end of
just
high school,
blossomed. Yeah.
well, I became more outgoing.
Yeah, you had more friends. It was good. But yeah, I just, I love Suki's awkwardness and her like not knowing, her getting flustered and just like not knowing what to
Oh
say.
yeah. I've definitely been there when you're not even really hearing what you're saying because you're nervous and just
Yes.
hoping that yes, you can't even focus on what you're saying. And so she's like
Yeah.
twirling the spoon.
Yes. And it's good. I
We've
love
all
it.
been.
Anyway,
Okay, so they are gonna go on their date. She comes and gets ready with Lorelai. Oh, she kind of rooks her into going on a double date.
a double date because Jackson's cousin Rune is in town, which I'm like, why
Mhm.
couldn't Rune stay home? Like, why did he have to go on this date?
Yes, because it's Rune and he has no sense of like any social cues.
Social norms.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Jackson is nice, so he's trying to placate Rune at first.
Yeah. At first. But it's okay, the getting ready scene with Suki and Lorelai, it's cute. Suki is
Oh, because
definitely just so fancy looking. Her hair, I'm
so
like,
fancy. She
there's
is
curlers in
adorable.
her hair. But yeah, it's cute.
Yeah.
The thing that bothers me though is she gets downstairs, she left her coat up there because she's like, I don't know. And Lorelai's like, here, take this. And it's this blue, it's like a royal blue shawl over Suki's like coral outfit. I'm like, what is this combination? And why is Suki like, oh, this is so beautiful? It's like a plain
It's
shawl. It has nothing on it. It basically a blue tablecloth that she is wearing over her shoulders. And I'm like, that made the outfit worse. What
It
is
did.
happening?
For some reason,
Sorry.
every time he said the word shawl. Sorry, I have to get out. Okay. Okay. Every time you said the word shawl, it's totally.
What? What? Every time I said the word shawl,
Yeah.
what are you saying?
Set me off and I can't stop. Her shawl. Every time you said the word shawl, it just set me off. I could not stop laughing. It's this royal blue shawl. Like, shawl is such an old lady term or like an old lady thing. Like, who has
I
a
don't know what else
shawl?
you call it. A pashmina? Is that what it is? I don't
Oh, yeah.
know.
Is that what it is? I don't know. But, but yes. And it looked like it kind of even looked like a scarf, like a plain, the big scarf
Yes,
we would wrap
yes,
around.
it did. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Tablecloth. I agree that the sorry, I agree. The colors did not go well together. It was like two different
Yeah.
bright colors. Did not look
Yes.
that good. I mean, it looked
No.
okay.
Yeah. They didn't go well. So then they go on the dates. Okay, both dates.
Oh, and sorry, I love that Rory and Lane are getting ready at the same time in Rory's room.
Hmm.
And it shows both
Yes,
their
and it's cute.
friendships.
And we see a little more of Lane's mom's craziness with like Lane trying to figure out how to work around her mom's strictness with dating and stuff. So,
Yes. She has to like maneuver it all the time
yes.
and kind
So,
of try to fib without really lying too much and get out of things.
yeah. So then we'll do Rory and Lane's date first. Because we don't see a whole lot of it. We just see them standing in line for the movies mostly, and
Also,
then a
why
little
are
bit of
they
the
not in
movie.
line together?
Together, this bothers me. I'm like, they could
Yes.
have it didn't matter. Like they could have just gone behind. There was like a couple between them, and I think it's like Rory and Dean were trying to let them have their alone talking time, but I'm like, no, it's a first date and they're both awkward and uncomfortable. Get together, talk so the conversation
Talk. And
flows.
that's exactly.
Like,
And that's the point of
be a
going on a
buffer.
group. Yeah, if you're going as a
Yeah.
double date, why wouldn't you all talk together?
Yes. And it was so awkward because then Lane's just talking about all these bands.
So you can
They're
tell they don't have
awkward
much in common.
in
It's
common.
hard to
Like
tell.
it's not good. But then he gets talking during the movie and he's like an idiot, obviously. So then
Mhm.
Lane sees that and she's just like moved past her thing. See, that's the
Crush.
thing is Lane just needed time to talk to him to see if like anything was gonna happen. So that's why I'm like, don't take it so seriously. They just need to talk and
Yeah,
see if things will flow. You don't have to be like, is he good
exactly.
enough? Blah blah blah. I don't know. Anyway,
Yes, and just let her figure it out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then we have Rune coming over with Jackson. Rune is freaking out about Lorelai being tall. He is
Yes. Which is
horrible.
so funny because Lorelai is obviously a beautiful woman
Like
that
way
any
out of
guy
his
would
league.
be. Yeah. So it's just that makes it funny that he's like, she's tall and she
Yeah.
has big ears or
Big
something.
ears. He's like so mean and
Yeah.
such an idiot. Um, and it just makes me think of bad dates. Like, and Lorelai just has to go on this
Mhm.
date to support her
She
friend.
does it. Yep,
Have
to
you ever been
support
on a
Suki.
bad date? Have you ever?
Oh yeah.
What was yours? I don't even.
Okay, there were a few. One was this awkward lemon date in college. A guy asked me out that he was nerdy and he saw me at this choir performance.
Oh,
I was
sweet.
in I was in women's glee for one semester
Nice.
and we performed at like one of the devotionals on campus or something. And he saw me there and he's like, "Yeah, you were in the choir." And he asked me out. Anyway, went to his
Wow.
house and it was like a triple date. And he's like, yeah, and all of my two roommates will have a date too. Like he was just so dorky about it. Like so specifically, like we each have a date for the day date. And it was a lunch date. So, but I went because I was just like trying to be nice. And also it was flattering to get asked out
Yeah.
by like,
Have somebody be like, I saw you in the
yeah,
choir
like
and
that
fell
never
in love.
happens. Well, he didn't. Because then, so the theme, he had a theme to the date and it was lemons. And so, and it was sweet. Like they made chicken with cut up lemons on like a lemon
Good
seasoning.
theme.
Yeah, he had a theme.
Wow. And it was
And then
lemons.
it was lemons, and then there was lemonade and a lemon dessert, like a, lemon
Wow. I
squares or
mean, this is
something. It was
like
sweet. So we
effort
ate
for
lunch
sure.
at their apartment, and then we went outside to fly kites, which
That's actually a cute
again,
date if you were with somebody you liked.
that was the problem. I just was not into him, and he wasn't really into me. He didn't, it was kind of like Lane and
He
Todd.
was
It
more
was
into
like,
the date.
yes, yes, he was. He was so excited about planning his date. So he needed someone who would appreciate that. And it's true, I
Mhm.
would have liked the date if it was someone that I liked. But so we flew kites, and then he walked me back to my apartment. And he, I remember I was like almost offended and annoyed that he didn't try to like even hug me or anything. He was just like, okay, bye. And so I stopped him and I'm like, oh, well, give me a hug and gave him a hug. And he left and he never called me again. It was just weird.
Nice. A classic
But
rune situation. I'm just kidding. It was like you
oh,
weren't
yeah.
into him, but you were trying to be nice, and he just was
Yeah.
not.
And then I guess I was like annoyed that he wasn't into me.
How
Like,
dare he?
yeah, no,
No.
it was,
But I think that's
so it
neither of
wasn't,
you like each
yeah,
other.
right, right. It just wasn't a love connection. And it wasn't a horrible date. It was just not that great. Do you
Yeah.
have any good stories?
Oh, I feel like, yeah, I also have a lot, but like that reminds me of I went on also a triple date in college, and it
Mhm.
was like a blind, like none of us knew each other. It was somebody had set us up, like two of
Wait,
my
none of
roommates.
you?
So it was
Okay,
like
okay,
my roommates knew someone who set us up with these three guys, and the
okay.
one that I was assigned to, I guess, I don't know, he was my height, which that's not like a huge thing. I'm like, I do like taller guys, but it's like if they're cool, whatever, and they're short, I'm not like
It's
it's not like a
fine.
major deal breaker. Um,
Yeah, but it's
but
still kind of hard because we're
wasn't
short.
super. Yeah, we are very short. Yeah. So, like, I wasn't super attracted to him, but I was like, you know what? Maybe he's cool. Maybe he's like nice and fun or funny or
Yeah.
whatever. He was not. He was so negative, just talking about people from his hometown in such a negative way. He also like kept asking, like, so I told him I'm from Indiana, and he just kept talking about Indiana Jones the whole time. And I'm like,
You're like, it's not the same.
yeah, that's not. There's
Oh,
not a
that's
connection. I'm
funny.
sorry. But that just the triple date made me think of that. So it wasn't a good date, but I think I've had a couple of awkward dates, and they're dates that I've been like not forced into, but like pushed into a little bit to where I felt like I
Hmm.
couldn't say no. Like I was home for like a break and during college, and somebody was like, "Oh, you should go out with this guy. He's nice." He was probably like 8 years older than me, and
Okay.
not at all my type in any way. And they're like, yeah, you should. I'll give him your number. Like, it was just very much just as like, you should do it. He just needs, like, it was just like, I felt very pushed into it. It was awkward. I was not like, I didn't want to be there. I was like, this is
Okay.
not,
I think I remember. And he wasn't, when you say he wasn't your type, he wasn't really like nerdy, but he was more, how do you say it? Like hardened
um,
or something. I don't
hardened.
know.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't know. So here's, it'll be understanding.
Okay.
You'll understand by the end.
Okay.
I went on this date. It was awkward. I like ran into a couple people I knew at the restaurant, and I was like, great. This is
Yeah.
uncomfortable because they're taking me on this date. Anyway, so we went to a movie. I like had my arms crossed the whole time. He told people that I was like grabbing onto him during the movie. Like, what? So
Was it
there's
a
that.
scary movie? And you were
I
like,
don't even remember what it was. I maybe. But so that was the thing. And I was just like, this is so awkward. Like, I don't really want to be here. And then, so we went on that one date, and I think I did tell him like I didn't want to go on another date again. And plus, I was going back to school anyway, so it's fine. 6 months later, I found out he got arrested for strangling someone. They didn't die,
oh my
but yeah, that's the thing. And I'm like, look at what you
Yeah.
pushed me to go. No, anyway,
Yeah,
sorry.
there was a
That
reason
was,
I didn't want to go out with him, and you shouldn't have forced me. Also, I feel like when I went out with guys that I didn't really like that much, I would still kind of be flirty with them, and you do not do
oh,
that. Maybe
I
you do.
cannot lead people on. Like it makes me so
Oh, I
uncomfortable.
did it all the time,
I
which now I feel bad about. But at the
well,
time, I was like,
I wish I could have more fun with it. Like honestly, I wish I could do it more, but I get too
I
anxious about
think
it.
it's also better to not lead them on. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I got in
actually
college, I
better.
got pretty good at just being like, yeah, I don't want to go on another date. Like, not that way, but I'm like, it's just nicer to just be like, hey, I just want to be
Just,
friends. Like, I don't want to go on another date. I don't think it's
yeah,
like there's a
just
connection.
be
I
honest
got
from
really
the
good.
get-go.
Yeah. Granted, after college, I wasn't quite as good about that. Sometimes, like, I dated people who I was just like, I really like hanging out with them, but I know I'm not gonna like marry them.
Yeah.
And so that caused some issue. It was a little bit leading
Yeah.
on, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I
all
don't know.
right. They're
It's
they're
okay.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay.
So,
Um, but yeah. So with
yeah, so at
dates,
the restaurant, we
oh,
have
sorry.
Lorelai and Suki. Suki's so nervous that she's not even talking to Jackson.
Yes.
And
It's
so Lorelai has to take her aside to powder their
just
noses
be
or
like,
something. And she's like, okay, Suki, we need to leave this stuffy place. Like,
So you can be more comfortable because obviously she was just like so anxious.
yeah, tense.
But before they leave, I need to point something out that I literally just noticed this last time I watched the episode.
Oh gosh.
At the
Okay.
restaurant, sorry, at the restaurant, their
Sorry.
waiter,
Wait. Sorry. Start that again because I was like,
okay.
okay.
Okay. At the restaurant, their waiter is a guy who comes back later. He
Yes, he
plays
is her friend
Suki's friend that they meet up, and I'm like, wait,
from
how did I
culinary
never notice this
school.
before? Yes.
Okay,
And
this show
so,
does this a lot. Did we already talk about some of the
mhm.
others?
There's one that's coming up where it's like Summer, who Tristan dates. She's in episode 1 at Stars Hollow High as one of the popular
Yeah,
girls.
as one of the
We'll
girls.
talk about that more.
And then later we see
Rich.
a who is it? Rich Blumenfeld.
Rich Blumenfeld plays Kyle's cousin or something in season 3.
Yeah,
It's
that
just
one I
like
never
short.
noticed.
I didn't notice
Yeah.
until way later. Somebody pointed it out. And so then,
But the one I noticed for sure was what's her face? April's mom.
oh yeah, Anna
And she
and
plays
Jess's
Jess's
mom, Jess's
dad's girlfriend.
girlfriend. And like they
Dad's
tried to
girlfriend.
change, I mean, she does look very different. Like her hair is completely different, but it's
You can
like
tell by her
she's
voice.
obviously the same person.
Her voice
Yeah.
is so specific. And
And
then
her
there's another
face,
one. Oh,
face
and they
didn't
do it
change.
in the A Year in the Life. They have Gypsy play the maid at Emily's. And it's so
Yeah,
funny, like
it's
you can
so
just
funny.
tell. But
And Drella or Alex Borstein plays
yeah.
Miss Celine.
Yes.
They do. So
And
it's a lot.
yeah, there's a lot of them, but it's okay. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. So yeah, so we see this here is the guy, Joe. I think his
It's
name is Joe later.
his name is Joe, and he likes Suki,
And
and they
it's
were
sweet.
friends in.
But yeah. So then they end up going to Luke's to like just have a more chill night. Jackson stands up for Suki and like tells Rune to leave. He leaves.
Yeah, because
There's
Rune is all
something,
whiny.
yeah. And finally, Suki and Jackson have time to actually talk and like they can like just be more themselves and it's good.
So
Something that,
good. And then, oh, go ahead.
no, you can.
You're probably going to say the same thing.
Okay.
Lorelai goes over to the counter to hang out with Luke and give them some space to talk.
hmm
And she orders them all burgers.
Burgers. And then Luke
Okay.
pulls out the cards. This is exactly what I was going to
Yes.
say.
He pulls out the cards for them to play a game, which is fun and cute moment.
But
But
hello,
I have anxiety hanging over my head as I'm watching it because the burgers aren't being
you
made. He didn't
just,
tell anybody
yeah.
else. He could have
What?
gone in the back and told them to make the burgers, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
So you're just
That,
like not having Suki and Jackson eat.
yeah, that's
It bugs.
so lame. It bugs so much. But then Mrs. Kim sees Lorelai, freaks
Oh
out
yeah.
because she was trying to get a hold of Lane. They go to the movies. Lane is
Yeah.
there. Lane gets in trouble. And that's, I think, how
And
this episode
again,
ends, right?
you see the difference between the two moms,
Mm-hmm.
Lane and her strict mother. But at least Todd is so oblivious he doesn't even notice. Like he
Yeah,
doesn't care. And
he really doesn't know. What?
he says Lorelai is a babe. That's Rory's mom. She's a babe. And it
Yeah.
reminded me of watching this show in high school, like watching Gilmore Girls in high school. I
Hmm.
remember my high school boyfriend thought that Lorelai was hot. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah. And it just makes
That's
sense.
so
I'm like,
funny.
yeah.
I thought you were gonna say it reminded you of the times you went to the dances with the teenagers and the boys asked you to dance as a chaperone. Okay, I will tell this because it's so funny. Amy went as a chaperone to these like they're church dances, but it's like teenagers. And she was like, as a chaperone, you were 30, right?
Yes.
And was it three guys tried to dance with you?
Yes.
Three teenage boys
Because
tried to dance with her
what?
because she would go out and dance with the girls, like the
Like for
teenagers,
the fast songs.
having fun. And one guy tried to just like, he just walked past the other teenage girls that were standing next to her and just grabbed her. He's like, "Shall we?" And then like tried to take her on the dance floor. And she's like, "I am literally married, 30 years old with kids." Like, you didn't say that, but
Ah,
I just
I
think
know.
that's so funny.
I did. I stopped him. I was like, "Oh, sorry. I'm a leader. Like maybe you could ask that girl or something." And so, yes. And then it happened two more times, not as aggressive as the first guy, but it happened like where two more asked me out. And so after, I don't know why it took me that long to learn, but after that, when a slow song came on, I just went out in the hall.
Yeah,
so,
I
so
think
they didn't
that is
ask because I
just
had to
so
keep
funny.
saying no. I was like, "Oh no, I'm a leader. But thanks." Oh yeah, that
It's
was
because we're short. I think that's why. And also because you were like energetic and dancing with the girls. And it was probably
yes.
dark in there too, so they couldn't see
Yeah,
as well either.
thanks.
So,
It had to be dark.
oh,
No,
wait,
but it
was
was.
it not?
It
Oh,
was.
okay.
No, it was. Okay,
Anyway.
anyway, back to the show. No, so yeah, so that's the end. And Lane realizes she doesn't like Todd anymore.
Yeah. So,
What
yeah.
what would you rate
This
it?
episode I would rate as like, I don't know, maybe like a 7, I would say.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. So that is episode 12. So now we have episode 13, our last episode of this episode.
Oh, this
And this
episode's
one
so
is,
good. We're gonna take
it's
forever
such a good
talking
one.
about this one. We talked too
Okay.
long about the other two.
It's
Sorry.
okay. We'll cut some stuff out. It's
Okay.
fine.
So episode
So
13 is called Concert Interruptus.
yes, it's so
Thank you.
good. So this episode we have a lot of fun stuff. So we have the town rummage sale. So we see like Rory and Lorelai doing that. Lorelai is like in charge of it. And so their house is a complete disaster. People bringing stuff over and they're sorting things through, sorting out stuff.
Which
Then
I love that. Oh, sorry, you finish the synopsis and then I'll jump in.
Okay. So then we have at school, Rory is doing a group project with Paris, Madeline, and Louise, and they are coming to Rory's house to work on it. And then also Suki gets tickets, 4 tickets to the Bengals concert in New York. And so for that weekend. And so that's all that's happening in this episode. We'll kind of go through it, but that's everything that's pretty much happening. So what were you going to say?
Um, about the rummage sale, which first of all, no one says rummage sale. Like just call it a yard sale or garage sale. But I guess But
Yes.
since I guess it sounds kind of more interesting that way. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I love when there are town events like this that we see scenes of it's just they're in the middle of town events all the time. And Lorelai is so
Yes. Yeah.
involved in it and it's just part of their life.
Hmm.
And it's just like she's always involved. I love seeing those scenes.
Yeah.
And of course, she volunteered to just have everyone bring stuff to her house and sort it. And then it's fun when she starts seeing things she wants because I do that
Yes.
when we've been having yard sales and we'll like I've done yard sales with friends before and I'll end up taking some of their stuff, buying some of their stuff. And Matt always, my husband gets so annoyed because he's like, I thought we were getting rid of stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, we've had arguments about it because if it were up to him, we would have very like a minimalist home.
Yeah.
But we balance each other out. I mean,
It's good. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
The
okay, one thing at the beginning of this episode when they're in Lorelai's room and Lorelai's trying to go through her clothes, something that bothers me is that Rory takes a chunk of clothes out of the closet and is like, "We're taking these." And Laura's like, "No." But the thing is, I'm like, she didn't even get to look. She just took a chunk. What if like her favorite shirt was in the middle of the chunk?
was mixed in. Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
I get the idea
That,
of getting rid of half. I agree. But you have to choose the ones you don't wear.
yeah.
Oh, and my
So,
friend told me when you're getting rid of like clothes that it
mhm.
feels like you have way less clothes. But she's like, you really don't because you only got rid of stuff you never wear anyway. And so it feels like that and looks like that, but you really have the same amount of clothes that you cycle through
Yeah.
because you weren't wearing the other stuff. And
Yeah,
so,
exactly. I have a whole bin of clothes that I haven't worn in years because I got fat. So,
oh, I want to go through it. So next time I come visit you,
okay.
I'll take.
No, it's for when I get skinny again. Just
Oh,
kidding.
okay. Yes, you have to save it.
I mean, you can go through it. It's fine. It's probably stuff I don't wear anyway.
Okay, so
Okay.
they have a group project. It's Rory, Paris, Madeline, and Louise, which we
Hmm.
love getting all four of those. Like, I love seeing them together. And
Yes.
they decide to work on it at Rory's house.
Hmm.
Um, Lorelai is such a fun mom there, and she brings them
Oh,
like
yes.
snacks.
Yes. Something with Lorelai in this episode is that she looks so cute in this episode. She's like fun
Yes,
and whimsical, and her outfits are fun and cute.
yes, and young and
That's,
just happy.
yeah. I feel like that's why I wore my hair like this. I was like, I'm gonna be more whimsical because I am inspired by
Like
Lorelai,
Lorelai.
her whimsy.
I
But she's
know.
wearing, there are a couple different scenes, and I wanted to try this out. I actually brought this with me today. Sorry.
What?
Lorelai wears bandanas in this episode.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I found a bandana in my closet, so I wanted to try it out.
Okay, try it out and
Because
see
she
because
somehow makes it look cute, and I don't know how. I
it's
look like a
uneven the way you're doing
pirate.
it.
What
No, no,
is
keep
it?
going. It'll
Hold
work.
on.
Just yeah, you can adjust it and it'll work. Yes,
My
bandanas.
sweaty armpits. Sorry.
Okay. It's
I can't do
it,
it.
you need to it looks cute from the left side. It's your right
It's
side.
like tucked in
It's
somewhere
not
wrong.
down far enough. You need to
On my
pull it.
face?
Yeah, that's a little that's better. And you need to pull it down farther on your left side.
On my
Your
left
left.
side.
Yeah. No,
This
that's
is
your
my right
right.
side, but I think I don't know how the screen is showing up, like if it's flipped or something. I don't know
Oh
how to
yeah.
do this, but yeah, she makes it cute.
It
I
look
cannot.
from the side. It looked really cute from the side. Well, sort of. Now it looks boxy. No, I agree.
Okay.
I bought a blue bandana because I saw some influencer wearing it at like wearing some at the beach, like putting a
Oh,
bandana
uh-huh.
on. And I think maybe her hair was down. I can't remember. But I think we should try bandanas again. But I agree. And also, is she cuter in this episode because she's wearing Rachel's clothes?
Well, she only wears the sweatshirt. Like that's
And the
Oh
cowboy
my.
hat when she's eating the
Oh, I
nacho
didn't realize
cheese.
that. I didn't think she was. I think that's just something she found. I don't know if that was Rachel's because he freaked out about the sweatshirt, I feel like.
Oh, you're right.
Like,
You're
what
right. You're
is
right.
that?
Okay. But like, yeah, the cowboy hat and other stuff, she just like had gone through other people's clothes. Is that right?
Also, yeah. Also, the bandanas that she had like sparkly. They were like,
Yes, they
what's
were
the word?
bedazzled or something.
Bedazzled. Yeah. And so they were cuter. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
bedazzling going on in this episode with the sweatshirt and the bandanas. And it's just
Yeah.
fun. I'm like, oh, it's so fun and
It's
cute.
so
And I want to
fun.
be more
And she,
whimsical in
yes.
my
And she dresses that way
day-to-day life.
more in season one and kind of season two. And then like once she um starts the dragonfly and has her own
Hmm.
in, she starts dressing a little more um like nicer and less
Professional.
casual. Yes. But I love
Hmm.
her outfits in season one and two.
Yeah.
Just the
Just cute and
casual,
fun.
cute, young mom.
Yes. So anyway, thanks for letting me try that out. Um, so yeah, we have them coming over, and it's
Yes.
just a cute, fun scene. Like they're just like talking. Madeline and Louise are like just talking like normal teenagers. Paris is getting
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah, Paris wants to keep them on track with their project, but they get distracted. And I like that Louise says, Your mother fascinates me. And they
Yes,
see
it's cute.
Rory's world and it is cute.
Yeah,
And she says, Well, she's my best friend. And
yeah.
so Lorelai, once again, she's always putting Rory first. She gets the
Hmm.
idea to invite the other girls to the concert
Because Lane can't go. Yeah.
because Lane can't go. We found out Lane just her mother found out what it was and she can't go. Uh, and so Lorelai decides, well, that it would be a good like bonding thing for your Chilton friends.
Also, a side note, another thing that's happening in this episode is, yeah, the Rachel stuff. So Lorelai gets Rachel's thing, Luke freaks out at the sweatshirt, and Lorelai doesn't know why.
Mhm.
So Rachel was Luke's ex. Yeah.
From years
And
ago. Suki fills Lorelai in on what was happening
yes.
back when Luke dated Rachel.
But something that bothers me in this episode is the timeline of everything. So they're like, they dated 5 or 6 years ago, apparently, and they were in a serious relationship. So 5 or 6 years ago, Rory would have been 10 or 11.
Mhm.
Later in the series you hear like how Luke was there for her as a like a kid, like bringing her stuff as like when she got the chicken pox, like random stuff like that, and you're like, so they knew each other, they were involved in each other's lives, but then there's so much timeline stuff because then when Lorelai and Luke start dating, he talks about the first time they talked was like 8 years before because of the
Yes.
thing. And so I'm like, that would follow this timeline, but the chicken pox doesn't really follow that unless Laura or Rory
Yes.
was like,
Maybe
what, like 12 or something? I
12
don't
when
know.
she got them. Yeah.
It's
I
just,
it
it
feels
doesn't
messy. It
track.
feels yeah.
Yes. And with Luke having a kid with April, with April's mom, with Anna, so that would have been like 7 to 8 years before this, from my
Yep.
calculations, if she was 12 when they, so then, which that could fit, I guess. It's like if they were broken up and then he met Rachel and they dated for like a year or two or something.
Yeah.
But
So
I'm like,
he
I
and
don't
Anna dated
fully
before he did.
buy that Lorelai didn't
Never
know,
knew.
like couldn't. Yeah.
Like she
Anyway,
didn't know
that's
Rachel
just
at all. But
yes.
I guess I could
Or
maybe
like
see it
didn't
if
know about it.
yeah. But I think maybe she just it had been years and she forgot. Like she didn't take that much of an interest in Luke's dating life back then.
Yeah, which
But
makes
he was
sense, but
still
I feel like
around.
because everyone else in the town knew about it, it was like something that was known. And
Yes,
so
you're
I feel like
right.
she would have, because even Miss
So
Patty was
why
like,
wouldn't
oh
she
yeah,
have
that
known?
girl broke his heart, whatever. And you're like,
Yes.
okay. So it
So I
was like a
wish maybe
thing.
that I kind of wish they had just switched the writing a little and just said like Lorelai kind of remembered, like, oh yeah, I remember her, but like what all happened? Like kind of something
Yeah.
where she at
I
least
will
knew
say
of it.
though, something that does track is when Lorelai asks Suki if she if Rachel is pretty and like what type of pretty, and Suki's like an Elle Macpherson type of pretty. And I do think they followed that. Like she was an Elle Macpherson
Yes,
type of pretty.
I
Like she was very
agree.
pretty.
Yeah.
So
And it's like a
anyway,
pretty that's uh, just just naturally beautiful. Like
yes.
not all made up, perfect, just young and beautiful. I don't know, but I guess that's everyone young
Hmm.
is so beautiful with their young skin. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
yes, I agree with the comparison to Elle Macpherson.
Yes. So anyway, random just tangent. So now we are going to the concert.
It's a cute scene when Lorelai and Suki are up in the nosebleeds and they just start laughing at how bad their seats are. That's
Okay,
fun.
this is another scene that I'm like, why are those men grumps about it? Like, are they really that
Yes.
upset? Like, why are they even there if they're mad about where they're sitting? First of all, I
Yeah.
was like, why are these two grown men even at this concert and like just annoyed? And I'm like, are they the only thing I'm like, okay, well, maybe they're a gay couple. But if they were a gay couple, I feel like they would be laughing with them. You know what I mean? Like, they would, it
Yes,
just
that is true. I don't
doesn't.
think they're gay. Maybe their wives are there and they have better seats. That doesn't make sense. I don't know.
No, it
I
doesn't.
want to
None of
know
it
their
makes sense.
story. No.
Yeah.
But
So,
sometimes people are grumps at concerts. If, yeah, I've had people be rude at concerts before, weirdly. Like if you're singing too loud, someone kind of snapped at my friend because we were singing and it was an Ed Sheeran concert, and this lady in front of us turned around and said to my friend, "I came here to hear Ed Sheeran, not you." And I drove a long way. Like it was
what?
so rude. And my friend just let it roll off her back. She was so great. She's like, "You'll be okay," and patted her on the shoulder.
Oh, that's good.
But
Yeah.
okay, so then we get to Madeline and Louise being idiots, talking to those college guys, and they leave with them. I really like Rory trying to, she's like, "No, you cannot leave. You're like,
That's like
we
such an
have to,
idiotic
my
thing to
mom's
do.
taking us
Like,
home." And thankfully, they tell them the address of the party they're going to.
yes,
Like, what would have happened if they didn't?
right. Because they didn't have cell
Because
phones. This
they didn't have
wasn't,
cell phones.
well, maybe they did. I don't know. It's possible that Matt and Louise had a cell phone because they're rich.
Yeah. Because that was
Anyway,
like a couple years before cell phones became
more popular, more
more
mainstream,
in
I guess.
use. Hmm.
Yes. Because I think
So then,
Lorelai had one at this point. Anyway, sorry, go
yeah.
on.
And there's a couple moments at the concert too when you see Rory and Paris kind of bonding because Paris likes the music. So
Hmm.
we leave the concert and go find Madeline and Louise.
Yes. Wait, can we just talk about how stupid they are for leaving with random strangers? But like,
Yes.
they're like 16 years old. And I'm like, okay, there are people like this. I was always an anxious teenager. I don't think I
Hmm.
would have ever done this. But there are, like, even as a kid, sometimes people will be like, oh, we should do this. And I'm like, but what if we get in trouble? Like, I was so afraid. Like I was almost too anxious. Like, I wish I would have been more carefree, but not to this extreme. Some of them are just like
No.
not even thinking of the consequences. Like, they're
Right.
just
Which is
wanting to.
typical teenagers, especially Madeline and Louise, because they love boys and parties and stuff. And so,
Yeah.
yes, I completely agree with Lorelai. And it's funny because watching this again when we were younger, I remember thinking that Lorelai overreacted when she yells at them when they find them at the party. And now
Hmm.
watching it, I'm like, oh my God, she did not overreact. That is so scary. And like when she says, like thinking you have a clue and drinking something
When
that
you
you don't know
don't.
what they put in it, you don't have a clue, you don't know what could happen. Like you, and when you're a teenager, you think parents are just being anxious and annoying and overreacting because you
Hmm.
don't know that that stuff happens. And
Yes.
like, yeah,
You
that you
think
could be
you
drugged so
are,
easily.
yes. You think you're invincible. You think like nothing is going to actually happen to you. And
Yeah.
so, yeah,
So
you
I
just,
completely agree with Lorelai in her yelling at
yeah.
them because usually she's the cool mom. And so you don't expect it. But in those
Yes.
moments, you're like, oh, she gets it. Like she's responsible. She's a
Hmm.
good mom. She gets it. She's not just wanting to be like the cool, fun, nice mom. you know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So,
And then in the hallway, Paris is so happy that Madeline and Louise got yelled at because she feels, I think Paris feels alone a lot of the time and like kind of in the background,
hmm.
right? Because of
Yeah.
her personality and she's not like the popular. I mean, she's friends with some of them. Obviously, her and Madeline and Louise are friends, but
Hmm.
she doesn't get, yeah, I don't know. They get more attention and they get all this stuff. And so
Yes.
now
Yeah.
they're
And it's
getting put in
like,
their place.
yeah, exactly. And so I think that's kind of nice for Paris to see.
Yeah.
Is like consequences actually caught up with them a little bit.
Yes. Yes.
And so,
And she says,
yeah.
I think this is the best night I've ever had. She says that to
Yes.
Rory. I love
And
that.
it's sweet. And it's just, yeah, it's a cute and it's kind of a vulnerable quote where it's just like she's actually showing that, you know, almost like she is okay with being friends with Rory a little bit, like where it's just like,
Yes.
yeah. And so it's sweet. It's good. But yeah. And so that was pretty much it. They end up, I mean, they have the rummage sale the next day and Lorelai gives Luke the sweater or the like, yeah, the zip up sweatshirt. And
Yeah, this hmm
I don't know why I called it zip up
and
sweatshirt. The hoodie? I don't
zip up
know what you're.
hoodie. Yeah. And he apologizes for snapping at her and overreacting or being
Yes.
emotional about it or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like I was thinking we would talk more in this episode because I love this episode.
I love
I
it
think
so
it's just a
much. It
fun
gets,
episode.
yeah, and it's fun to be in a different setting. So they're at the concert, but that's a big chunk of the episode. So maybe that,
Yeah, that's true.
but
I
I
think,
rate this episode a 10 because I just love it. It makes me happy.
oh, yeah. I was gonna say, I was like at least a nine, maybe like nine and a
Hmm
half. I don't know why, because it's not like, yes. I think it's just, yeah, it's just a happy episode.
It's the
It's not like a
vibes.
perfect episode. It's the vibes. Yeah.
It's Lorelai's clothes and her hair, her
Yes.
bandana. No,
It's just fun and whimsical. I keep saying that today. The
I
whimsy
like that word. It fits. It does.
makes life a little more fun, a little
It does.
less monotonous. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so that's it. So that's 11, 12, and 13. And that's the haps.
Yeah. I like it.
Catch you on the flippity flip. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.